follow, like, subscribe. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. Let's go.
Wakanda forever.
It's so cool to be alive. I don't care what you think about me, cause I'm living loud.
I said I'm moving too far. Get it wrong. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Said I might be big in the game like she winning aunts. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get to glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't shining like it's neon.
Happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Birds, Beards, and BS here on the AAT Sports Network. We are your hosts, Eagle Jeff Warner, alongside Peanut and you. If you want to get involved, make sure you're following, liking, subscribing. Leave those comments of whatever we're discussing, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to bring up.
Yeah.
Let us know. Leave in the comment section on Facebook and YouTube. If you are watching on Twitter, unfortunately, Twitter fucking sucks, and we don't see your comments. So if you're commenting on Twitter, move to our Facebook page or our YouTube page, subscribe and leave the comments there. But look, a lot to get into. We'll be discussing the Eagles' first loss of the season momentarily. Plus, the Eagles did make some moves this actually one today and one earlier this week. We'll get into that and how that will affect the Philadelphia Eagles going forward on their playoff push, as well as Eagles-Colts matchup. But first, let's pay some bills here on the Birds, Beards, and BS. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Vinny's Pizza and Restaurant. They are located off the Iroquois Trail in the Old Town Shopping Center in Allentown. They're available for takeout or delivery at 610-395-2300 or vinnyspizzapa.com. Check out their game day and daily specials on their website. They have, I think, like 2 large pizzas for $21.99. They have some cheesesteak and pizza deals, soda deals, all that and more. Again, vinnyspizzapa.com in Allentown.
Word.
I'd like to also thank our friends at Doan Distillery in Quakertown. They're located in the Trolley Barn Public Market. You can visit their website at doandistillery.com. You see their full list of delicious drinks and spirits. They also do happy hour Thursday evenings from 3:30 to 6:30. So if you're in the area, if you're looking for something to do, go check out the town. Go to Doan Distillery at the Trolley Barn Public Market, along with all the other vendors at the Trolley Barn Public Market. Especially Doan Distillery, doandistillery.com to check out their complete menu. And we like to thank our friends at Stuff to the Grills in Allentown. You can order at 484-274-6760 or visit stufftothegrills.com for their full menu and specials. They're also available for catering orders. So if you have a family event coming up, a work function, or anything you need to feed a lot of people, Stuff to the Grills is the guys to call. They'll give you a great deal on some of their great food menu there at Stuff to the Grills. Again, stufftothegrills.com.
Yeah.
But look, unfortunately, we knew it was going to eventually come to an end as the Philadelphia Eagles unfortunately fall to the Washington Commanders as they spoiled the Eagles' undefeated season this past week, 32-21. And look, We discussed we discussed it last week that this might be the biggest test for the Philadelphia Eagles. They're coming off a little bit of a mini bye from that Houston game where they struggled in a little bit.
Right.
And look, this is a team that was playing high, flying high, but they're coming crashing back down there very quickly.
Well, you know what? We played a good defense, and to be honest with you, one thing it proved, and I'm gonna be honest with you, is we're that good. Not only do we beat all the teams we play, but we found a way to beat ourselves. Philadelphia. Shout out to someone that said that earlier, myself. I made that all up by myself. But nah, it was one of those losses where honestly, like if you look at the game, we literally beat ourselves. Every chance we had, we put ourselves back in the game. Turnovers, penalties. I don't care what anyone says. The refs weren't the reason why we lost that game. The reason why we lost that game is we just executed poorly.
Look, I am one of the more realistic fans when it comes to this team. Look, you can't discount what happened with that officiating crew.
Right.
Look, I'm not saying it's the
refs missed calls, though.
I'm not saying, but look, Dallas Goedert literally getting his face ripped apart in front. It wasn't like it was a ticky-tack call, like where he might have grabbed and pulled.
He even got injured off that play, right?
It was blatant, and it caused the fumble, a game-changing fumble, and a big play in the game. Look, I'm not saying that's the sole reason why we lost,
right?
But that play right there sealed the Eagles' fate in the end of it. Because who
knows?
No.
What sealed the fate was that stupid roughing the quarterback call and on that last drive. That sealed the fate. Look, we still had the opportunity to win even after that turnover. So, I mean, I get what you're saying. Listen.
Dude, all momentum was killed at that very moment, and now you lose Dallas Goedert for 4 weeks because he was placed on injury reserve this past week. So the Eagles,
like 4 weeks,
the Eagles will be out without Dallas Goedert for a minimum of 4 weeks.
Right.
And look, the NFL, they need the commission, whoever fucking decides these goddamn rules, they need to go back to the drawing board and figure out a way that it is beneficial to both sides. Because look, I can't blame unfortunately, there's nothing that the refs could do. You can't look at a big jumbotron and then throw a flag. It's in the rule book that look, they can't review potential penalties on each play. But when it's blatant like that and a game-changing play such as that ultimately it helped decide the Eagles' fate. I'm not saying I agree with you.
Right.
The Eagles didn't play up to the Eagles played down to the competition. I still feel Philadelphia is the better football team, but they did not come to play. They did not execute. They were the less disciplined team. The fact that they allowed the Washington Commanders to continue and chip away, pick up first down after first down, especially on third down.
Right.
When you give up 13 first downs on first downs on third down, that spells disaster along with the turnovers.
The turnovers hurt us bad, though. I mean, let's face it. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Like this was a game that we had every opportunity to win, and we just kept shooting ourselves in the foot. Whether it was a turnover, whether it was a wide open Gainwell in the middle of the field that was missed. On all levels of this team, we shot ourselves in the foot. We were not prepared to play. And you know what? Shout out to the Washington Commanders, man. They came out and they were ready to play. They came prepared to play. They fought with fire, and we should expect that from each team that we play for the rest of the year. Our team did not come prepared to play. For some odd reason, we were missing tackles. We could not stop the run, and we were just turning the ball over.
Well, the stopping the run, that's been an issue for our defense all season long. The reason why that has not been exposed is because we got ahead very early, which took away the opponent's run game. They eventually became one-dimensional because they were playing catch-up, which ultimately the slow start ended up costing the Philadelphia Eagles. The fact that they only had the ball for 6 minutes in the first half. How do you expect to put up points or establish a rhythm and establish an offensive flow when you have the ball for 6 minutes? Yeah, we want to talk about the defense struggling and not be able to stop the Washington Commanders and Tyler Heineke, whatever the fuck Heineke's first name is.
Yeah, Heineke.
The fact that they couldn't stop him, that was definitely a negativity.
Right.
But offensively, this offense has been gelling and has been completely dominant. Where was the offense? And Jalen Hurts. He wasn't. I don't feel the reason why they lost that game. Yeah, he had a big interception.
No, we found a way to beat ourselves because we're that good.
But what I was getting at, he wasn't the dominant player. He wasn't the game changer. He wasn't the MVP candidate that we saw through the first 8 games of the season.
Hold on. Are you putting the loss on Hurts?
No. I'm saying everyone is to blame, but no one wants to blame Jalen Hurts for the loss is what I'm getting at.
Okay, well, that's a fair assessment. I don't think he lost the game. I think he put ourselves in position to win the game a couple times. He did drop the ball a couple times, not literally, but figuratively. There were open people that he could have got first downs on. I mean, there were a couple plays I'm sure he would want back. But let's face it, like he gave us that opportunity to win. The whole team flipped, and
he gave us an opportunity to win. Because the Washington Commanders are a worse football team than us. The fact that
their defense is not that bad.
They're not that bad. But look, this was a defense that couldn't stop us about 5-6 weeks ago. What? Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
We were able to show and expose weaknesses in this defense.
Okay, I see.
Is what I'm getting at.
Okay, all right, I agree. And David,
they are a beatable football team. There is no juggernaut in the National Football League right now. We should have. Look, Washington, they played well, and you have to give them credit. I agree with you. Yes. They came to play. Yes. They had a bounty on our heads to be the team to dethrone the only undefeated team in the National Football League left. But I do not think that the Washington Commanders are the better football team.
No,
I feel we hurt ourselves. I agree with you.
We beat ourselves.
We played down to the competition.
Yep.
And look, everyone is to blame in that whole matter. And I agree with Jason Kelsey. We brought up the refs earlier. He says he does not want to hear fans or players or teammates or anyone like that blaming the officials for the loss.
I'm with him on that.
It helped contribute. But it wasn't the deciding factor in the game.
We still had opportunities to win. David, he says it best. Hitting the kicker hurt also. I'm telling you, on all aspects of the football game, offense, defense, and special teams, penalties killed us. Turnovers killed us. I get that the refs missed some calls, but listen, if it was reversed, we wouldn't be talking about it. If it was the Commanders that were on the opposite end of the refs thing, we'd be like, nah, but you already lost the game. Look, we lost that game because we honestly, purposely put ourselves in that position. We had opportunities to win. When Quez Watkins caught that pass, we were in scoring position. He fumbled the ball. And after that, we still had an opportunity to win. And then progressively, we just found ways to lose this game. Look, we have no one to blame but the coaching on the defensive side, the defensive line for not stopping that run, and honestly, the turnovers and unpreparedness and missed tackles. We have no one to blame but ourselves. And mind you, I didn't want to lose the game, but I'm kind of glad we lost that game in the fashion that we lost it. We didn't get blown out. We lost that game because we lost that game. We were the ones that literally, we basically gave Washington a win. Enjoy Washington. You guys played hard. I love the way the tenacity of the quarterback. After that, look, I get it. But honestly, we're a good team that played bad on that day. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm hoping. And the question is, and it's been discussed all week. It's going to continue to be discussed. Are the Eagles, like we said, did the Eagles just play that bad? Or did the Washington Commanders finally found a blueprint for the rest of the NFL on how to beat the Philadelphia Eagles? Because look,
you mean run the ball
and blitz Jalen Hurts.
Run the ball. Listen, Jalen Hurts. Look, where's the Hurts alert? Where is it? I don't know where it's at, but I wouldn't move it.
I would move it a little bit,
maybe a smidge.
I would move it a smidge.
A smidge.
Look, he wasn't the dynamic player that we saw through the first half. I feel you're stressed, playing scared, overanalyzing, overthinking things.
He made bad decisions.
And what happened? I would say this is what happens when you get when his number one target gets shut down. Look, AJ Brown, when he's taken out of the game, when he's essentially taken out of the whole offense, what limited to 1-2 catches the entire game.
Yeah,
it exposes your offense. And we saw what happened last year with Jalen Hurts. The fact that when he didn't have that number one option, or he didn't have that number one option step up,
right?
You saw him struggle, and I kind of felt that's what we saw on Sunday. Teams are going to try to find ways to take A.J. Brown out of the game, and they're going to force Quez Watkins, Devontae Smith, Pascal to try to beat them, because now they're without one of his security blankets with Dallas Goedert for 4 weeks.
Right.
This offense went from a juggernaut to
here we go. You're already going to shit on him after one loss, man?
I'm not going to shit on him. I'm shitting on the offense as a whole. This offense runs smoothly when it has all its pieces in place.
Of course.
And when you lose Dallas Goedert,
right,
Dude, he opened. People are not giving Dallas Goedert the credit that he deserves for the season that he has had so far this year.
Dave, you're right. Plenty of opportunities, and I agree with. Put that up there because I'm telling you, like we still were in the game, and he was still delivering the ball
because it was
they dropped the ball. Literally, they dropped the ball.
It doesn't.
They fumbled it. Quez Watkins fumbled.
Okay,
and no offense,
but there were plenty of other bad plays. Do those couple drop passes or those turnovers? Do those negate what were we?
Do they affect the psyche of a quarterback that's trying to get the ball down the field
No.
when he's throwing the ball? And listen, I get it.
No,
you're right.
No, what exposed our team is the fact that we were. Let's see.
Here we go.
Sorry, the Washington Commanders were 12 of 21 on third down.
Okay,
we were 5 of 8
because they were running the ball down our throat.
18 first down. We could not establish a rhythm, and the fact that the Washington Commanders were able to dominate the time of possession, and we were getting off the field too quickly. The first quarter we were up 14-7. Mm-hmm. We went scoreless for 2 quarters. Yeah. That you blame that on the offense as a whole. You don't blame that on a couple of misdrop passes. You blame that on the coaching for game planning. You blame that on the quarterback for not reading the right defenses correctly.
I feel like we keep rounding back to the quarterback. I feel like you have an issue with the quarterback.
Because the quarterback, you get the praise when you win, you get the blame when you lose. That was the most. That's what happened. That happens to every quarterback. Look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So hold on, he went undefeated. He loses one game, and you're ready to like ship him off.
I'm not ready to ship him off, but there's a lot of credit. There's a lot of.
He kept us in the game, though.
He did not keep us in the game.
He kept us.
The competition kept us in the game. The competition kept us in the game.
I don't know.
When you look at this stat sheet, the Washington Commanders should have been dominating this game way worse than what the scoreboard portrayed.
I agree.
And that's the reason why we still had a chance to win this football game. The fact that we had 4 turnovers allowed the opposing team to convert over 50% of their third downs, to pick apart and move up and down the football field. We should have been blown out the way we played this football game, but we weren't because the Washington Commanders are a mediocre football team that we should have demolished, but we played horribly on Monday.
They are a mediocre team that came to play. They were prepared, man. Like, let's give them their props. We can't be like, yo, they're trash. And they came to play. The defense is not a slouch. Their defense is all right.
But they're not back to full strength. They were still without Chase Young on Monday.
I agree, but they ran the ball effectively. They killed the clock. They found ways to win the game. And look, we want to criticize the defense. The defense still had 2 turnovers that helps out the offense with short fields. So look, you want to credit Jalen Hurts for keeping us in the game. The defense did just as much as Jalen Hurts to keep us in that football game with those turnovers. That's a good segue into what I want to talk about next, man.
Go ahead.
Look, we got 2 signings. What did we sign within the last week?
Look,
what position?
Defensive tackle.
Right.
Defensive line.
Obviously, Howie realized there was an issue with this situation. We need to stop the run.
Well, these guys aren't really run. Look, if you did not see the news, they did sign in Ndamukong Suh today, and then they signed Linval Joseph Tuesday, I believe, to help bulk up the defensive line. Especially, look, the fact that Fletcher Cox, I think, played 70%, 80% of the snaps on Sunday.
And he complained about it.
Well, yeah, because he's a little bitch.
I didn't say that.
Look,
you said that.
Look, I love Fletcher Cox. He will always be an Eagle great. But look, you can look at the game tape and you can see that Fletcher Cox, when he's double teamed, he gives up. He doesn't try. He's like, whatever, you're going to double team me? And that was opening the holes in that run game. The reason why, when he's getting double teamed, they couldn't rely on Milton Williams. They couldn't rely on Wilson, who's now injured as well.
Right.
They need the defensive line. They are as little snaps as Jordan Davis was getting.
Right.
You're seeing the impact that he did bring to the table. The fact that he was able to clog those holes a little bit more and open things up for Fletcher Cox and open things up for the rest of that defensive line to get pressure on the quarterback.
Right.
And that's what Ndamukong Suh does. Everyone thinks defensive tackle, that these guys are going to help stop the run. Look, they're big bodies. They're 320 pounds each.
That's 50% of the job, though, isn't it?
It's supposed to be, but look,
You know what I'm saying?
the way our defense is ran, everyone has a job. They're not running that traditional 4-3 defense. It's more that hybrid style defense where you're seeing a lot more of a 3-3 scheme or a 3-4 scheme,
Right.
where you have that dominant nose tackle that take on the bulk of the pressure,
Right.
which is something Fletcher Cox, Milton Williams, and these guys are not doing.
Okay.
Whether it's age, scheme, just getting dominated, whatever it is, they needed defensive line depth because the skill, the success to this Eagles defense has always been fresh legs and a rotation. And when Jordan Davis went out and now Wilson being hurt, they are very thin at the defensive line, specifically the defensive tackle position, and they need to find bodies, which they bring two big veteran defensive tackles who I feel can help fill that job. Hopefully they're better signings than Robert Quinn.
That's a good point.
Look, we trade for Robert Quinn. He's supposed to be a pass rushing specialist. I don't even think I saw his name on the fucking stat sheet.
Am I the only one that think? I feel like Quinn is he looks like a 50-year-old dude sometimes. I watch these interviews. I'm like, yo, he should be a coach somewhere. But I agree with you. I think, and mind you, Robert Quinn's getting acclimated to a new defense. But I agree with you. If your job is just to get to the quarterback. Then really, there's no wiggle room there. But
and look, the getting pressure on the quarterback. Taylor Heineke. He's not a traditional mobile quarterback. He's not Jalen Hurts, but he's a guy that can still elude you in the pocket.
And he played with fire.
And they could not find a way to get after him, and that screwed things up in the secondary. Look, the fact that Terry McLaurin going up against Darius Slay had 8 catches, 128 yards. I don't know if Darius Slay was hurt or just scheme, or they were finding ways to pick him apart. We were very worried about Avonte Maddox being out and having Josiah Scott as your nickel corner.
Right.
Look, Darius Slay out there, he looked like a rookie out there. Nothing against Terry McLaurin because the dude's a monster. He's one of the best wide receivers, in my opinion. Not
Scary Terry, hell yeah.
One of the best deep threats and one of the best.
We were playing like 10 yards off the fucking receiver. I don't know if you.
It's a scheme.
We were watching the whole thing. We're like, yo, why are we doing this? And honestly, Gannon is like hit or miss. There's times where I'm like, Gannon's the best. Gannon's doing great. There's times where I'm like, Gannon, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you playing scared? The minute we're up, this is what Gannon does. Drop back, just don't give up the big play. I'd rather see the big play because they're chewing up the clock now. And that's the way to beat us. Run the ball, beat us at the defensive line, and just get basically first down, touchdown. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Gannon doesn't know how to adjust off the fly. There's times where I'm like, all right, bro, why are we doing this? We've been doing this. It's not working. So Scary Terry was tearing this up because he's a good wide receiver, and you don't give him the opportunity to defend him properly. I don't want to blame Slay. I don't want to blame the players on the defensive side of the football. But there were times where there was only 10 players in the field, and you know what he said? My bad. You're a fucking NFL coach.
Well, some of that's on the players too.
I get that, but you're the guy that's in charge. When I go to an Applebee's and my shit ain't out in 10, 15 minutes, I don't blame the waitress. I blame the manager. You're the person that's in charge of the situation. You mean to tell me you didn't realize there was 10 people out there more than once? Bro, you're an NFL coach. Fired. You're done. You have every opportunity to win. You have all these good defensive players. You're just not scheming well.
I cannot blame Gannon for this loss.
Oh, here we go. So you mean the defensive scheme was on point?
It wasn't on point, but it's the same style defense that we have seen. And look, I felt it came down to execution. Darius Slay, he's normally up to par. For some reason, Monday, I don't know if he's, like I said, I don't know if he's hurt, but he did not look like the All-Pro cornerback.
Is hurt.
He did not look like the All-Pro cornerback. Besides Josh Sweat getting Heineke and forcing that fumble, where was the pass rush? The linebackers. Look, they ran all over us. That's your linebacker play.
Linebacker play was horrible, and David says it. I think somewhere like 4 or 5. The linebacker play was horrible.
Look,
horrible.
The Monday, it was a complete team loss.
Yeah,
I'll say execution, not being disciplined, the head coaching. Look, everyone can take a piece of the pie for the blame for what happened on Monday. The question is, how can they rebound? And look, we can talk about the loss all we want. I didn't expect this team to go undefeated. Did they have a chance? I felt they had a chance because of the competition they were playing, but I did not see realistically this team going undefeated. Now the question is, how can they rebound from this loss? How can they find the ways from this game and try to shore up those mistakes and shore up those mishaps? Because look, they're going up against a lot of quality running backs. This Sunday, they're going up against Jonathan Taylor and the Indianapolis Colts. They have Derrick Henry still. They have Saquon Barkley twice.
Mm-hmm.
They still have Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard.
Yep.
They have Aaron Rodgers as quarterback against A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. So look, there's a lot of quality running backs going to be going up against, and this is going to be a make or break test for Jonathan Gannon and this defense to see how they can adjust and shore up to make sure that they don't get gashed the way they did this past Monday.
I agree. 100%. I feel like this is a coaching situation. And mind you, I'm going to be real with you, that scares the shit out of me. I don't know who I was talking to when we were talking about the game. I was like, what happens if they run? And someone was like, oh, the Commanders don't run the ball. But what if they did? And they proved it. That's what happens. All you got to do is kill the clock.
Against Brian Robinson, who got shot in the leg twice, and Antonio Gibson. They averaged, 3 yards a carry or something like that? That you look at that stat line, you wouldn't be thinking that you have a dominating rushing performance. But they did. They ran well. They ran for 152 yards on 49 attempts for 3.1 carry per carry. So look,
what was the time of possession?
Time of possession, 40 minutes, bro. Yeah. 2/3 of the game that the Washington Commanders had the football.
There's your answer.
They need to find a way to get off the field, and the Eagles need to find a way to establish a rhythm and pick apart opposing defenses and move the ball. And it can't be that lopsided. Like I said, we were in the game, but we shouldn't have. And they don't have an easy task this coming Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts, a team that is still trying to find their identity. They fired their head coach with Frank Wright. They get their first victory, or they get a victory with new interim head coach Jeff Saturday this past Sunday, who has never had any NFL coaching experience. But look, Jim Irsay, the owner, sees something in him. The ties with him being a longtime center there. They gave him a chance. He won his first game, and he puts back Matt Ryan as the starting quarterback.
Yeah. Look, he's a player. He knows what it takes. And I just think, look, given I like Saturday, I really do. And I think honestly, like, when it comes down to it, the team is rallying behind Saturday at this point, just like the team rallied behind the quarterback with the Washington game. It's all about emotion and it's all about momentum. And if this team comes into this next game with that same kind of attitude, this team's going to roll over us. Like the Colts, they're nothing to be played with. And mind you, if we can't stop the run, we're in for a long Sunday. That's facts. Here we go with the facts.
I'll say the line for Sunday, they do have the Eagles as a 6.5-point favorite, so about a touchdown favorite. And look, I feel this is a game that the Eagles should still find a way to dominate and win. But after this past Monday, anything is possible. Look, Matt Ryan he's not that MVP candidate he was in the prime of his career. He's more of a game manager. And look, they have Jonathan Taylor. They have some pieces on the offense side of the ball that can still cause some trouble for the Eagles defense. We're gonna have to find a way to play mistake-free football. That's something that
we've done for the whole season except for last game.
Except for Monday.
Yeah. Look, I'm not worried about Hurts right now. I'm not worried about A.J. Brown. I'm not worried about this defense yet. But honestly, anytime we ever had trouble with a team, it's always been the run defense. And I'm glad that Howie, you used to hate on him. Howie realized there was a problem. Like, we got to bring something in because of the thinness of that situation. And honestly, hold on one second, guys. I'm going to burp. And that was brought to you by Dome Distillery, Quaker peach flavor. I'm sorry if that was gross. But this is a team that we have weaknesses. Defensive line can't stop the run. And our special teams is like, ugh. I can't watch, like, from now on, just do this. Because that's what it feels like. Nobody's worried about us taking one to the house. No one's worried about us, like, we had horrible field position literally the whole game. The special teams don't help. The defense didn't help. And the minute we're down, We're backing up. Like nothing makes sense. We're not aggressive. I mean, there's so many things you could. The turnovers. Everyone's blaming everything on everything, and the one thing you can't blame it on is honestly Hurts. It wasn't his fault. The guy tried. He fucked up. Don't get me wrong. There were moments where I'm like, he's open. But imagine,
and as a franchise quarterback, he needs to find ways to not have those mistakes.
All franchise quarterbacks.
I agree. And I'm not. Once again, no one is blaming Jalen Hurts for the loss.
You kind of were,
but he helped contributed to the loss.
I agree with that.
That is where I'm getting at. He wasn't mistake free. He's not blameless in the Eagles losing on Monday. And as the quarterback, it's the most premier position in all of sports.
I agree.
Again, you get the glory when you win. You get the blame when you lose.
Okay.
And look, the fact that we only scored 14, or we went scoreless for 2 quarters, and we only scored a total of 21 points the entire game. Yeah. When we're putting up 30, 35 points a game, pretty much every game this season, yeah, you're going to put a little bit of blame on the quarterback because he's the leader of that offense.
So that was our trap game? Did we get rid of that trap game?
I'm hoping.
Because we've been talking about that since like week 4. When's that trap game? This is the trap game. This is going to be the trap game. I don't know. Forgive me for my voice, by the way. For some reason, my voice is out. It's not COVID. I know it's not COVID because Jeffrey don't have COVID unless you got COVID.
It's all fucking COVID.
It's COVID.
It's all COVID.
I got COVID.
Pretty much.
But you know what I'm saying? I'm tired of everyone putting this fucking paradigm on Hurts. I thought Hurts played well for the situation he was given in certain situations.
Look,
did he play 100%? No.
17 of 26, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Right. So
that's not a performance of a winning quarterback.
How many drop passes do we have?
Look, I'm not going to.
Okay,
everything contributes. How many missed passes? How many missed throws did he have? Quite a bit.
I agree.
It evens itself out. Everyone is to blame for this loss, and just accept it. Jalen Hurts.
He said, "Just accept it."
Jalen Hurts helped contribute.
He didn't play
to the loss.
I agree.
He did not play an MVP style game that we expected against an inferior divisional opponent and a tight NFC, not just NFC East race, but an NFC race. Now, look. No one expected the Minnesota Vikings to win that game on Sunday against the Buffalo Bills. Mr. Josh Allen, MVP candidate, can't find a way to win in fucking overtime once again. Look, the NFC, we hold the tiebreaker over the Minnesota Vikings, but technically we only have a half game. We have a half game lead over them. Again, we still have 2 games against the New York Giants. We have a game against the Dallas Cowboys on the road. We have a tough Tennessee Titans team in a couple weeks.
Right.
The final stretch of the season, it's not going to be a gimme. And this if for some reason, I'm not saying we missed the playoffs, but for some reason we don't get that first round bye or win the division, we're stuck to a wild card team. We're gonna come back and look at this game. What game was what game are we gonna look back that we could have had that ended up costing us position in standings? And it's gonna come down to this game.
The first game we lost.
This game. Exactly.
Jesus Christ. Whatever. I disagree with you, but I respect your stupidity. Let's go.
Fuck off.
So what do you think is going to happen next week or this week?
You give me your prediction.
My prediction, honestly, I think it's going to be a blowout. I think the Eagles come back like prepared, ready, 42-10. I honestly think this team is going to come out.
I think it's going to be worse than that.
Oh, shit. Like 52-10?
Not that bad.
Look, I think this team is going to learn from their mistakes. They're going to be pissed off. And mind you, the only reason we lost is because Jeffrey has A.J. Brown on the fantasy team. And it was God's way of like giving me something. Thank you, God, for my win. But I think honestly, this team's going to learn from their mistakes. I think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be 42-10. Eagles.
Oh, now it's 42-10. Before it was 22-10.
No, 72-10.
Oh yeah, now this ain't fucking Madden, bro.
85-10.
Okay, now you're throwing out Tommy scores.
So what do you think it's gonna be?
Look, I agree. Look, the Indianapolis Colts. This is a team that has struggled all season long. Yes, they have a new leader at the helm with Jeff Saturday, and yes, it was nice to get his first victory last week. But everything's gonna come crashing back down to earth with this Indianapolis Colts team. This is a team that offensively can't move the football, even with Jonathan Taylor. This is a team that has struggled to put up points all season long. I think they haven't scored. They were held without a touchdown for 3 games this season. They were held. Where's that stat line I saw? I fucking had it. Yeah, here it is. Indianapolis failed to score 14 or more points in 4 opportunities this season. They had a 26-3 to defeat against New England, a 24-0 shutout loss to Jacksonville, and also did not score a touchdown in 3 contests. Look, I agree with you. This is an Eagles team that coming off their first loss, I feel they're going to put this behind them, look at the tape, see what they did wrong, and try to get back on the winning track, build a momentum for this playoff push, because they can't have any more mistakes. They can't have any more blunders that they had this past Monday if they expect to contend in the NFC East and the NFC playoff race. Okay. So, look, I feel Jalen Hurts, he's going to ball out. He's going to have over a 350-yard all-purpose day, rushing and passing. He's going to have 4 touchdowns total between rushing and passing. And look, he's going to come back. He's going to bounce back from a miserable game on Monday to another MVP type of performance. Okay. And this is an offense that's going to get things back clicking, get back to fundamentals, get back to being a disciplined football team. And defensively, yeah, the focus is going to be on Jonathan Taylor. I feel Jonathan Taylor is still going to somewhat he's going to get his yards. He's going to get his carries. But I feel we have too much offensive firepower that's going to eliminate him. And we're going to get back to winning Eagles football the way we have this season by forcing opponents to become one-dimensional, taking away their best playmaker out of the ball out of his hands, and trying to make an aging Matt Ryan try to beat us with his arm, which I do not see happening against Darius Slay and James Bradbury.
Word. We're going to win, y'all. You heard that?
I have the Eagles winning 45-13.
This is why people watch us, because it's unrealistic numbers. We don't know. The NFL has been so wacky this year.
The NFL sucks.
It's been so weird. But, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, 49.
The NFL's too unpredictable. Look, the Eagles might only score 10 points this week. Who fucking knows?
If we win, who cares?
We better fucking win.
Yeah.
Better fucking win. But again, look, we appreciate everyone for tuning in for another shitty show of Birds, Beers, and BS here on the AT Sports Network. So if you did enjoy today's show, again, make sure you're following, liking, subscribing. Thank you for everyone that commented on today's show, and continue to leave those comments. Subscribe. Make sure you're sending to your friends, family, hobos, strangers, your ex-girlfriend, whoever.
Prostitutes.
Yeah, whoever you might run in contact with.
Drug dealers.
We're just looking for some subscribers that help us get to the 1K mark, so then we can finally fucking retire and make some goddamn money off of this shit.
Word to Big Bird.
So I have to keep on mooching off my wife. Pretty much. Lying. But again, thank you everyone for tuning in. We like to thank our sponsors here, Birds, Beers, and BS and AT Sports Network. First, we'd like to thank our friends at Doan Distillery in Quakertown. They're located in the Trolley Barn Public Market. You can visit their website at donedistillery.com for their list of their delicious drinks and spirits. Again, happy hour every Thursday, 3:30 to 6:30 at Doan Distillery. So again, make sure to check them out and tell them the Birds, Beers, and BS and the AT Sports Network sent you on over. I'd like to thank our friends at Vinny's Pizza and Restaurant in Allentown. They're located off the Iroquois Trail in the Old Town Shopping Center in Allentown. Order takeout or delivery at 610-395-2300 or vinnyspizzapa.com. They have daily and game day specials just for you, so make sure to check them out. And for their full menu, visit vinnyspizzapa.com for their pizzas, their strombolis, their calzones, their garlic knots, all the delicious food at Vinny's Pizza and Restaurant. I'd like to thank our friends at Stuff to the Grills in Allentown. They're located also in the off the Iroquois Trail in the Old Town Shopping Center. Order by calling 484-274-6760 or visit stufftothegrills.com for delivery. And check out their full menu and specials as well. They're available for catering delivery orders as well. So make sure to check them out if you have a big family function. You need maybe we'll get together before the holidays with Christmas, Thanksgiving,
winter
barbecues, graduation parties, birthdays. If you need some grub and don't feel like cooking, Stuff to the Grills is definitely the place to give a call.
Word.
I'd like to also thank our friends. I think I missed them earlier. Statement Games. I have their fucking logo. But look, Statement Games, again, check them out, statementgames.com, for a fun, free twist on fantasy sports. You have a chance to win gift cards and other prizes by just picking the right games, the right betting lines. What if you're a gambling addict and don't want to invest the money, this is the place to go, because you have an opportunity to win some gift cards, other prizes for free. Again, fun, free twist on fantasy sports. Statement Games Inc. Check them out at statementgames.com. And then, again, help support our podcast as well as our network. Visit atsportsnetwork.com/shop. We have some great gear from Birds, Beers, and BS, as well all of our other show gear and other parody shirts that Johnny has created for your favorite Philadelphia teams and sporting athletes. Again, make sure to check us out, atsportsnetwork.com/shop. See if there's any final comments here. I don't fucking know what the fuck they talking about, Bubbles?
I don't know. We'll talk about that later. I got to piss.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. Look, thank you for tuning in. We'll get the fuck out of here. Have a great weekend, and don't kill yourself. Later.